All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Rob at Smirking Again Reviews. This is day 2 of my vacation. I took the first day to just watch football and play Spider-Man. So now on day 2, we are going to start what is basically going to be non-stop content pretty much for the next 6 to 7 days on my channel. So expect a whole lot of stuff, and what better way to start than with more Expanse. So we're doing the Expanse Season 2. We're at Episode 10. It's called Cascade. So full spoilers if you have not seen the episode. And let's just jump into it. So this is kind of another close and quite contained episode with a lot of just... this could be considered like a filler episode. A lot of seeing where we're headed kind of stuff. We're not actually we're getting a lot of information, but we got to build up. We got after this episode, I think there's only 3 episodes till the finale. Well, 11, 12, and 13 are after this. So a lot of things are going to happen. But in this, we pretty much got 2 storylines. What's going on in Ganymede. Sorry to everybody that I was saying Ganymede. I don't know what the hell. But anyway, let's start with what's going on in Ganymede. So after the whole thing with the people on the ship that told them to get out after her husband died, they're looking for Prax's kid, May. Yeah. And we have a lot, there's a lot of moral questionability conversations going on here that I find kind of interesting on certain levels, like Nagata, kind of questioning their methods about things, and I kind of find it interesting, that she's got kind of trying to take the moral high ground when she hasn't told Holden that she didn't fire that rocket at the protomolecule to send it into the sun or whatever they were going to do with it. So I kind of feel like she should probably shut up a little bit. It's just my opinion. I know that it's more complicated than that, and I know that people get really touchy, but on this channel I just try to be honest in how I see things. So how you see it might be a little bit different. As soon as Amos and Prax find out about this guy named Roma, that was only going to go one way. All right, you got the desperate father, and people in desperate times are pretty much willing to do anything. It's a little cliche, the whole, I'll come with you. He knows where maybe my daughter will be alive too. Dude, don't, the daughter's never alive for the other people because it just doesn't matter. They could make it matter, but it doesn't. So that once they find this guy, it really is going to only go one way. Now that Amos, as soon as I heard about this guy, I was like, this is bullshit. This guy's a scam artist, and maybe he can help, but he's, exploiting people that are going through real problems. So Amos doesn't, when this guy meets Amos, it's not going to end well for Roma. And that's pretty much how it plays out. They find the guy, and yeah, first he's got a woman, running half naked out of his room. So that's not a good way to start for this guy. And just the way he looks, just this, the way he talks and the way he acts and looks, it's just yep, this guy's getting a beat down, which is, I've got to admit, I just wanted to see it happen as soon as possible. So, as soon as they walk into the room, and this guy should have been looking for a gun or something as soon as he saw all these kind of intimidating people, and especially Amos with the 1,000-yard stare. And the whole, hey, yeah, you got all this stuff here, and just 1 second after that, you've got him getting beaten to death with a can of what looked like Spam type stuff. But yeah, and holding back Nagata, and him letting it happen. Yeah, he stops him. There was never going to be any, he wasn't going to, he might have killed the guy, but we all knew that they weren't going to let him kill the guy. And so, yeah, they force him to help pro bono. He makes it sound like it's his idea. And he after a lot of, searching, and this gives Prax some time to check out the, plant life on the station, which is not doing well, even though they've been told that they saved 2 of there were 5, and it sounds like they saved 2. The whole place, people are eating the plants, which don't have any nourishment, actual like nutritional value. And then he finds out that, you know, the things that are keeping this place going are not going to keep it going for much longer, and that the Cascade, hence the title, is explained to Amos by Prax, that it's, and how Amos takes it is, it's not the thing that breaks you, it's, you know, all the other stuff. So Prax says, you know, in not so many terms, you know, the place is already dead, you know, nobody just wants to admit it yet. So this Roma guy does find a video of Maya and Dr. Strickland. And so now they have a place to go, this oldest place on the station that nobody knows anything about. Kind of weird, but whatever. And so now they have a place to look. Now we get to Earth. And there's a lot of little moving parts here on Earth. And again, more kind of like philosophical and moral questions about Mars and Earth and everything. Because Mars is trying to cover up what they're doing. And Earth, and what I love here about Aaron Wright and Christian's relationship is he's like saying, you know, that they're using peace as, you know, like a deflection. Like, and she looks at him, and I love when she says, you know, I wish I could disagree with you right now, but here we are. And then they do what, I've been watching some like political stuff in the last couple of days with the whole Supreme Court thing and the way that people answer questions without answering questions. You know, somebody asks you a question and you just don't answer it, is what we get here. And it was a little disgusting, and maybe I'm a little more sensitive to people not answering questions because I was watching that stuff that made me a little upset. But I was a little tired of that. I was like, just get out of here. I mean, she asks like who that guy was, and they're just like, oh, family friend. That guy, he was military. You know, he wasn't just some family friend, you know, from Mars helping, you know, with some encouragement. He did, and like she said, he didn't seem very helpful. And then we got him, you know, they show him, you know, you really fucked this up, you know. So, well, what did they expect from her? They wanted her to just be the dutiful soldier and do what she's told, like she's always been, and then all of a sudden she finds out that you guys are letting them get thrown into the bus, and she's supposed to just take it. I mean, I guess, you know, the way they kind of make their soldiers like stormtroopers, where they might as well be brainwashed, and have white helmets and just walk in formation and have no, like when people on Earth say they think they're robots, I guess Mars not really doing much to change that way that people look at them. So when she just decides to bail, which was pretty smart, and I like how she did it, and it was pretty clever. I could have done without the whole falling off the roof thing. I mean, I get it. We understand that they don't, you know, they keep talking about how they're not acclimated to Earth's atmosphere and everything, and the lights and gravity and all that. And I didn't really need her to fall like really in slow motion off the roof because of a bird. It was, I guess, to cause some more like, ooh. But honestly, I think the show's better than that. And then she runs off, and, you know, she's trying to find the ocean before they take her away. And, you know, she meets this guy that's like a doctor, and she starts to see what it's like for people on Earth. And then she starts to understand that how people on Earth see Martians and how her views of Earth are different. And so you get that nice moment of her realizing, you know, that not only are the military lying to her and willing to let her get thrown under the bus, that what she understands about Earth and what Earth understands about Mars is completely kind of, a lot of this is just bullshit to keep people in line, to keep people hating each other. And so this guy shows her how to, you know, breathe and like to walk and how to look at things just really briefly. And so when she finally gets to the ocean, you know, some people might go, oh, well, she wants to be on Earth. But I think it's more like she wanted to see the ocean because she knows that she'll never see it on Mars, what they were trying to do. Because, you know, the longer these things go on, they can't get to the atmosphere. They can't build up Mars to the way they want it, and she probably thinks that this will be her only chance to see what Mars could look like at some point. And so this is where Christian and her boy, who I'm starting to like more and more, find her. Now, before we get to that little conversation, it's important to talk about her, Christian and Ehrenreich. Now, Ehrenreich kind of reminds me right now of, Yvonne Strahovski's character on The Handmaid's Tale. And why I can't remember her name right now is really annoying me, her character's name. But both characters are people that are just you hate. They've done like her character on that show is basically the Cersei Lannister, and Ehrenreich is kind of like another like a character like that where he's done enough irredeemable things where you just want to see him die. And like both shows, characters, they're starting to have this turnaround where they've done terrible things and they realize that, what they've been doing is wrong, and they start to try to redeem themselves. Now, in the case of what I was talking about with the Handmaid's Tale character is, I don't care what that bitch does in that show. She needs to die bad. And I think Ehrenreich is another one of those characters that has to go in a certain way, but the stakes are different here than on that show. And by seeing that what he's done and understanding that he has to pay for his crimes, I think it's better that he doesn't go to jail. I think it's better right now anyway. And he's probably somebody that will end up dead when his usefulness is over. But seeing that he's found like the error of his ways is a pretty nice turnaround. Willing to work with Christian, showing that, if he had known what was going to happen, that doesn't excuse his actions. But it's nice to see that not every character that was bad has to stay bad. They've done bad, terrible things, pretty much unforgivable things. But the fact that they know enough to go, all right, I'm going to pay for what I did, but use me while you've got me. That was a pretty good scene, and really sold by the actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff. I really like him a lot. I think he was in like Big Love and stuff like that. So it's a really nice turn, and that Christian understands that she needs to use him for while she can. And so that was pretty cool. I like that. I mean, and then we have the conversation at the end that she has with her. Now this, on the other hand, was a little anticlimactic because they just find her they use like all that way to find her. But instead of I realize that they probably can't take her with them and hide her. Or not. I don't know. Maybe there was a way they could have done it and hid her from the Martians. But just to quickly go, this is what you saw. You're not full of shit. Your place did it, and her going, well, it's not true, and just basically saying we can't be enemies. We can't afford to be enemies anymore. What does that really do? Now, all it to me does right now, I'm sure it's going to pay off later, but all it does is give her a reason to dissent, to have reasons to doubt her own people on Mars, and give her some pause at what needs to be done. It doesn't really, at this point, I don't really know what what telling her about that she was right about is going to do in the short term, but it felt like I really needed something a little bit more in that scene than just a quick conversation and then everybody bails and then waits for her to get picked up by her own people. I kind of wish that they figured out a way to just be able to take her with. I feel like Christian's got that kind of power to cover it up, but I don't know. I don't want to sound like I didn't like this episode or complain too much, but there were just a few details like that just kind of underwhelmed me. I feel like they could have done a little bit better job at that scene than just a quick little, this is what the creature looked like. You weren't wrong. We can't fight. We need your help, but they don't really talk about how. So, and when she's with her people, it's going to be hard to get into a room with her again. So, I don't know. And that's pretty much the episode, except that Alex, sitting by himself, bored, gets that message that Mars is basically saying, you know, anybody that's trying to come or leave is going to be fired upon without any kind of warning. So shit's about to go down. So anyway, that's it for this episode. It was, like I said, kind of a filler episode. Not bad. We get a lot of good information. And that's about it. So anyway, if you liked this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll be finishing season 2 in the next day or so. We'll be doing season 3 as much as I can up until Friday when Man in the High Castle comes out. And then I'll be doing like a review, like back and forth review of Man in the High Castle and whatever I have left for the Expanse. And stretched out through that, we're going to be doing essential film reviews. We're going to be doing final film reviews. We're going to be doing Better Call Saul. It comes out tonight. We've got tons of stuff that's coming out this week. So keep an eye out for that. I know that like people that watch this may not really watch anything else on my channel, but I'm just saying, you know, if you like this, you might like some of my other content. So anyway, this is Robin Smirking Gun Review saying we'll see you in the next review and have a great day. Bye.